Hi guys, Alberto here. You're watching the Bedroom Rocker YouTube channel, and today I'm covering the Zoom GCE3 Guitar Lab circuit emulator and audio interface for bass and guitar. I'm gonna start by covering the main features and functionality of the product. Then I'm gonna show you a typical recording setup. Third, I'm gonna show you some sound samples over a backing track, and finally we move on to the review part. So grab a drink, sit tight, and let's go. This is a bit of a confusing product because it looks like a toy or look like a miniature version of a Zoom multi-effect unit, but this is actually just a plastic enclosure. So the knobs here, they don't really do anything, but inside of the plastic enclosure, you get an analog to digital converter and a digital signal processor. This unit ships with Zoom Guitar Lab, which is a software for modeling guitar and bass amps and effects, and also with Cubase LE, which is a digital audio workstation. So the idea is that you can use this as a mobile workstation for practicing or for recording guitar on the go, because basically you're gonna need the guitar, a computer, and this unit, and you can get and record a bunch of different sounds. Let's hear some sound samples now. The guitars I'm using today are a Tajima Classic Series T635, which is an S-type guitar, and then a Gibson Les Paul Custom. If you want to know more about them, make sure to stay tuned, there are reviews coming. I'm plugging the guitars then straight into the Zoom GCE3, into the computer via the USB cable, and then I'm gonna use the Zoom Guitar Lab to model all of my guitar sounds. So let me know what you think about the sounds in the recording. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Overall, I'm really happy with the sounds I was able to get. To be honest, I had to fight with it quite a bit. I found the presets that come with Zoom Guitar Lab are terrible and I really couldn't use them. So I started designing my own presets from scratch, and it took a while until I got a good sound, but once I got there, I was able to record several different tracks without any problem. In terms of usability, I had a few small issues, so I couldn't connect this with Guitar Lab in the beginning. I had to reinstall the driver, but then it worked out smoothly. And the great thing is that the latency was actually quite low, so it was super easy to record using this. It's worth mentioning that the Guitar Lab is actually just controlling the units, but all of the processing is happening inside of here. And the processor here is not particularly strong at this price point, and this limits the number of effects that you can load simultaneously. So actually in Guitar Lab, it will show you for each individual effect how much percentage of the processing power that effect needs. I found this especially annoying when you want to try different sounds, because you want to load a bunch of different effects in the chain and see which ones fits better. So I got overloaded at times and I had to replace the effects instead of them just loading them in parallel. But in the end, I was able to record fully featured recording chains with 2-3 different stomp boxes, one amp model, one cabinet model, and even some post-processing things like a compressor or a room reverb. And then, of course, if you are reaching the maximum capacity, you can shift some of these effects to your digital audio workstation so that your computer's processor can take care of them. Now, another cool feature of this unit is that it can also work without a computer. So it will always store the last preset that you were using in Guitar Lab, and you can power it via regular USB charger, and you can play just via headphones. One thing I found a bit annoying with the GCE3 is that I couldn't find a way to mute the guitar signal coming from the GCE3. So I could, for example, set a bypass signal, so a raw guitar signal, but if you want to use this exclusively as analog to digital converter, you wouldn't be able to turn that off. So if you want, for example, to use a different effect modeler like Amplitube or Bias Effect inside of your computer, you're gonna hear the playback from your DAW with the Amplitube or Bias Effect sound, but that's gonna be mixed with the input sound from the GCE tree. So this kind of always forces you to use the Zoom Guitar Lab, which I found suboptimal. Another important thing to mention is that the GCE tree comes bundled with Cubase LE. So it's great because you get a fully featured DAW, and if you want to start doing home recordings, this is a great solution. At the same time, I don't use Cubase, I usually use Cakewalk as my DAW, and I also tried it with Cakewalk, so integration was totally smooth, and that's great to know that it works with different DAWs as well. In terms of pricing, the Zoom GCE3 goes for about 80 euros in Germany, and I think it's difficult to compare because it's a very unique product. But you get an audio interface and the bundle with the digital audio workstation, and also access to Zoom Guitar Lab, which is actually a free software. So it's a quite complete package for home recording, and especially for mobile recording when you are on the go. And I think this will appeal a lot for people who already own other multi-effect units from Zoom, because then you can import your patches into Guitar Lab and you can access them on the go. If you go for a weekend trip or something like that, you just bring your guitar, the laptop, and the GCE3, and you can access all your patches for practicing and for recording. But for other musicians, for 80 euros, I feel you can get a much nicer audio interface, maybe not super portable as this one, but with actual mic preamps and with a better analog to digital converter with higher sampling rates, and also more monitoring options. Then, of course, you would have to get a different amp modeling software and maybe even spend some money there. But I also think there are many good free options like Amplitube, Custom Shop, and even Cakewalk has a decent amp modeling software nowadays. This video was made possible by Made in Brazil Music Megastore. So they lent me the GCE3 so that I could make this review video and also some recordings while I'm away from home. They have 6 mega stores in Brazil, over 30 years of tradition, and they are my main go-to music shop whenever I'm here in Brazil. So a massive thank you, and I'm gonna link their shop in the description box down below. So that's all for today. I really hope the review was helpful and fun to watch. If that's the case, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to see more guitar and gear related content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Also, if you like what I'm doing here and you want to support the channel, make sure to use my affiliate links in the description box below. If you use them, I earn a small commission, and this really helps me to get more products for making reviews like this one at no additional cost for you. So keep on rocking, and cheers!